It's time again for the Science Bowl.
Zoo Parade for 5. What big teeth the hippo has are actually a pair of these. Science Potpourri for 10. Would a snake most likely eat every day? Every week, Dateline Science for 10. Why are some elephants wearing necklaces these days? Green things for 15.
And now, here's your host, Mr. Z himself, Dave Zarin.
Thank you and welcome to the Science Bowl. Today, two outstanding elementary schools here to play our game, one of which could go on and qualify for the semifinals. Let's meet them now. First, from Bladensburg Elementary School, would you please welcome to our program Layla Santil, Jessica Contreras, and Caleb Fazil. And from Magnolia Elementary School, joining us today are Jerry Gawana, Khalif Adasian, and he goes by one name, Owie. And now here are the categories of questions we use on the Science Bowl.
Okay, Mr. Z, here's today's categories. Green things, questions about plants and all things green and growing. Zoo Parade, a Noah's Ark of questions about animals. Body systems, we'll see how much you know about yourself, about things like breathing and growing and digesting your food. Let's get physical. Questions that test your knowledge of physics and chemistry, earth science and space science. Then there's Science Potpourri. Here's a grab bag of science questions, everything from air pollution to the kitchen sink. And finally, Dateline Science. We'll ask you about science history and science in the news.
And here on the Science Bowl, we arrange our game board according to question difficulty. The easier questions are on the left, worth 5 and 10 points. The tougher ones worth 15, 20, and ultimately 25, the toughest of them all. Both of our teams start out at 50 points apiece. Never do we deduct any points for incorrect answers. At the end of the 2 rounds today, one of these 2 good-looking teams will come back to play our game again, and as we said at the top of the show, perhaps advance to the semifinals. Let's go over and make sure everything works right. Before we start, let's go to that red team, and Jessica, would you try your buzzer? Looks A-OK. Good luck to you, to Caleb, and to Layla. And over at Magnolia, Khalif, would you try yours? The green team says looking fine, too. Good luck to you, to Owie, and to Jerry. Congratulations, guys, on being selected to represent your schools. All right, Jerry, let's focus now as we are about to start the game. We go alphabetically, B before M. So Bladensburg and Jessica, let's play the bowl. Go.
Zoo Parade for 15.
Zoo Parade for 15 points to start us out. That's a visual question. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. All right, teams, this firebird is fictitious. The legend is that it burned up and then rose up from its own ashes. It is also the name of the capital city of Arizona, Magnolia. Phoenix, that's what I want to hear. Okay, Khalif, your turn. Go.
Oh, body systems for 15.
Body systems for 15 points. Teams, the study of the human body is used in the title of a very famous book used by medical students and a television show about a hospital. It's called Gray's what? Magnolia. Anatomy, that is correct. All right, gentlemen, go.
Let's get physical for 15.
Let's get physical for 15 points. All right, teams, your question is as follows. It's a multiple choice question. Recently on the Big Bang Theory, the guys were trying to get a nut off a tire that was stuck. So they took a hammer and started beating it. Was that an example of accelerated corrosion, thermal expansion, or percussive shock? Which of those 3, Bladensburg?
Percussive shock.
You got that right. Like banging on a drum, percussion. You got it. Good thinking. Go red.
Science Potpourri for 10.
Science Potpourri for 10 points. Teams, this unit of length has been redefined by scientists as 1/299th millionth of a second. We know it as equal to 39.37 inches. That equals 1 what? 39.37 inches equals 1 what? Magnolia. Give me a measurement.
Meters.
Meter. Good answer. Good. Thank you, Owie, for your help on that one. Go green.
Zoo Parade for 20.
Zoo Parade for 20 points. All right, teams, if you've ever looked at a bird's nest, you'll notice that the eggs are generally speckled or colored. But if you look at the eggs that are laid by turtles and alligators, they're always pure white. Why the difference? Why are some colored and speckled if you're a bird, but if you're not, they're just white? What would be the advantage? Think about it. Think about it. Come on, Bladensburg, talk among yourselves in case I have to come to you. This is a thought question. All right. Magnolia, you guys are discussing. Who's going to be my spokesperson?
Owie.
Owie, tell me what you're thinking.
The coloring would camouflage the eggs from predators that would eat the eggs, like lizards.
Beautifully said. That's exactly right. And the turtle eggs and the alligator eggs, they're buried underground, so it doesn't matter what color they are. Nicely done. Go green.
Let's get physical for 20.
Physical for 20 points. Teams, it was Archimedes, the ancient Greek, who said, "Give me one of these simple machines, long enough, and a fulcrum and a place to stand, and I can lift up the whole world." What simple machine was he talking about? Jessica.
A crane?
Not a crane, no, good try. Give me one of these simple machines long enough, a fulcrum and a place to stand, and I can move the world, said Archimedes. What you got? It's a lever, a long enough lever, you could move the world. Okay, go again, green. Score 110 to 65, still advantage green. Go.
Dateline science for 20.
Dateline science for 20 points. Teams, your question is as follows. There's a new book out called The History of Humankind, the subtitle. The title, and if you know your scientific names, you'll know this. The title of the book is Our Human Species Name. Magnolia.
Homo sapien.
Be more specific. Which one is the species name? You've given me just a little too much. Give me the species. Sapiens, that's right. It's the second one. Homo is the genus. Good. Go green.
Potpourri for 20.
Potpourri for 20 points. Teams, you all know of the Dead Sea. It's the lowest place on earth. The water in the Dead Sea is so salty and so dense, it has been at the bottom of that sea for over 1,000 years. So just like dinosaur bones, we say that that water has been turned into a what? Bladensburg?
Fossil?
A fossil, yeah. That water has been fossilized. Boy, Jessica, she just couldn't hold it back. She knew what that was. Nicely done, young lady. Come on, Red, let's get some points.
Zoo parade for 10.
Zoo parade for 10 points. All right, teams. Boy, this is kind of strange, but it makes sense. Every winter, these local mammals see their brains increase in size so that they can remember where they buried their nuts earlier in the season, Magnolia.
Squirrels.
Squirrels, yeah, squirrels get a bigger brain in the winter and then it kind of shrinks in the spring. Yeah, I wonder if our brain could do that. I don't know. Go, green.
Green things for 20.
Green things for 20 points. All right, teams, if you've ever watched The Wizard of Oz, Layla, you might have seen that Dorothy and her friends on the way to Oz go through a field with these red flowers that produce opioids. Caleb? Poppies, yeah, and they all go to sleep before they get to the Emerald City. All right, that buzzer is rung. We've had a good first round. Let's check that score right now. Bladensburg is at 85, Magnolia is at 160, and we'll be back with round 2 of Science Ball in just a moment. Don't you go away. And welcome back to Science Bowl. So glad to have you here today in this, our 33rd year. We've got 6 outstanding young people here today. And, you know, the last time they did this was never. This is their first time ever on television, first time on our show. They're doing beautifully, and hopefully we're making them feel a little more comfortable here. Let's go to Bladensburg first. Jessica, tell us about your school. Who's your principal?
Dr. Williams.
Wonderful. And who's your vice principal?
Ms. Battle.
And I think they're both here today, along with Ms. Holmes, who is your wonderful sponsor, doing it for the first time. And Ms. Holmes, thank you so much because you have come up and helped us judge too. So she really knows our game inside and out. Jessica, tell me if you had any alternates on your team, just first names.
We have Chelsea and Naomi.
Wonderful. We'll bring them out with your principal and vice principal and Mrs. Holmes in a few moments here. I like those shirts. Did you wear them just for us today?
Yeah.
Who designed those shirts?
It's for the whole 6th grade.
That's
so
very nice.
so
Layla, what are you telling us?
We ordered it offline.
That's nice. And I don't want you to stand up, but it says Bladensburg, and what's underneath? Is that your school mascot?
Yes.
The Bulldogs?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you're playing a nice game here today. Jessica, tell me something about Bladensburg that you think everybody at home would like to know that makes it a special place.
The teachers really help out, and it's really fun.
Yeah. Boy, if school's not fun, why bother, right? You want to have some teachers that have got your back and they're there for you each and every day. Sounds like a great place. What do you want to do someday?
I want to be a marine biologist.
Yeah, and I was asking her before if she'd ever been scuba diving or snorkeling. She said not yet. We got to get you somewhere like into Florida or down into the Bahamas so you can experience that world. You're going to be a good scientist. You're playing a real nice game here. What do you do in your spare time?
I read, sometimes I read science magazines.
Yeah, readers do really well on this program, and I like that you've been reading those science articles. Caleb, nice to have you here today. Why'd you want to be on the show?
It's because I like science, and she asked me if you wanted to be on the show.
Yeah, Caleb has the giggles here today. He's having a good time. We like that. So we're glad you're with us today, and hopefully you'll be sharing what you know with us here today and also taking some things away. What do you want to do someday, young man?
I want to be a soccer player.
Soccer player, because you play soccer now, don't you? Favorite soccer player?
Yeah.
Who?
Neymar.
Uh-huh, okay. And Layla, nice to have you here today. And you want to be an entrepreneur.
Yes.
This young lady, she looks like a businesswoman already. You're very serious-minded. You got that confident look about you because you want to sell things to people, right? You've got to make people feel good about that. When did you get an idea you wanted to do that?
Like maybe a month or two ago.
Ah, okay. You know, it's interesting in life. You can do lots of different things. You'll probably change your mind a couple times, but sometimes you stick with your original one. What do you do in your spare time, Layla?
I read a lot and I watch TV and play
watch
games.
TV, yeah. Do you have a favorite TV show? Hint, hint.
No.
Could have given you extra points if you'd said Science Bowl. No, I'm just joking. Magnolia, nice to have you gentlemen with us today. Caleb, tell us the Magnolia story. Who's your principal?
Our principal is Dr. Phyllis Gillens.
Absolutely. She's a wonderful principal. I've been over to your school a number of times. I remember last year you got some washers and dryers from a Redskin, and it was a really big deal. Tell me who your alternates are, if you have any.
Our alternates are Katrina, Halima, and Tamar.
Wonderful. They'll be out in a few moments.
And Josephine.
Yeah, don't forget, is it Josephine?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to be mad at you if you don't mention her name. We're going to bring her out in a few moments here. And your sponsor is the wonderful Mr. Robert Allen. And not only is he a fabulous teacher and a longtime supporter of Science Bowl, he's got a great voice. And I hope he's sung for you guys sometimes because he just, he's got a gift. Tell us about Magnolia, something special there.
Something special about Magnolia is there's lots of diversity and everybody has their own talents.
Isn't that the truth? Yeah, that's the beauty of this country. So much diversity, so much different talent, and that makes this experiment here that we're running in this country work most of the time. What do you want to do someday?
Well, one day I want to be a mechanical engineer, a businessman, or a musician.
Wow, you got a lot of good aspirations there. You got a good head on your shoulders, young man. You're very calm and collected, and that's what you need to be if you're the captain of the team. You're doing a nice job. Owie, tell us the Owie story. What do you do in your spare time?
I like to play video games like Minecraft, and I like to watch anime and read books.
Yeah, you're doing all the right kid stuff right now. Because someday you want to do things with computers, don't you?
Yeah.
You want to be a game designer? Yeah. Do you know how to code?
I mean, kind of.
Kind of, yeah. Coding now is a big thing. Teaching people how to code and kind of master their computers. Jerry, tell us about yourself. What do you want to do someday?
I want to become a chief designer of Apple Corporation.
Wonderful. Good company to work for. Apple and Microsoft and Amazon. Boy, those are the companies when you attach your wagon to. Why'd you want to be on this show, Jerry?
Well, ever since 3rd grade when I met Mr. Allen, I've seen the Science Bowl team before, and I thought it might be a good test of my science knowledge.
We're glad you're here because, you know, sometimes you have to stick your neck out and take a challenge. You know, go for broke. See if you can make it work. You're a good player, okay? Just stay focused here in the second half. Here we go. 85-160. Last correct answer came from the green team. So, Khalif, lots of points to give away. You tell us where.
Body systems for 20.
Body assistance for 20 points. Teams, if your red blood cells are misshapen and sticky, you might be suffering from sickle cell what? Magnolia. Sickle cell what?
Ammonia.
Not ammonia. Good try. Bladensburg. Misshapen and sticky red blood cells. A sign that you may be suffering from sickle cell what? Correct answer is anemia. Anemia. You had the right idea. You just weren't giving me the right A word over there. Go again, green.
Oh, Dateline Science for 25.
Dateline Science for 25, the big one in that category, teams. Boy, it was an awful thing to watch. Alex Smith, the Washington Redskins quarterback, out for the season, maybe never to play football again because what 2 bones did he break in his leg? What, 2 bones? 25 points if you can give me both. All right, Bladensburg.
Femur and the
Layla, what are you telling her? You gave me a bone. Magnolia, I need 2 bones that Alex Smith broke in his leg when he was in that game that ended his season. Guys, what you got?
Femur and ankle.
No, the tibia and the fibula. Those are the 2 lower leg bones. No points, go again, Green.
Okay, green things for 25.
Green things for 25. Big one in that category. Teams, if you were a Boy Scout, as I once was, you could earn a merit badge if you studied plants. Today, that merit badge is called Plant Sciences. Back then, it was named for this B initial term that indicates the study of flowers. B stands for what? The study of flowers and plants. Caleb.
Pass it to Allie.
Botany.
Botany, yes, sir. Awa, you are the man. Good answer. Got yourself 25 more points. Go.
Green things for 15.
Green things for 15 points. Teams, we know that spices like turmeric and curry can be made from any part of a plant. But herbs like parsley, sage, and rosemary can only be made of this part of the plant. They have to be what, Jessica?
The leaves.
The leaves. Yes, good answer. Good. Go red. Come on, guys. We've got some points to make up here.
Let's get physical for 10.
Let's get physical for 10 points. Teams, your question is as follows. You know, learning that mass and energy are related was the discovery of this man who came up with the theory of relativity, probably the most famous scientist of all time, Magnolia.
Albert Einstein.
Albert Einstein, yeah. The man who looked like he never combed his hair. Go, Green.
Zoo parade for 25.
Zoo parade for 25. Big one in that category, teams. At Thanksgiving, a tradition is you get the wishbone and you pull on it with your brother or your sister and you hope it breaks and you get the bigger side so you get good luck. Those bones in the wishbone are the clavicles. In us, the clavicles are better known as these bones. For 25 points, the clavicle is better known as what bone in a human being?
The collarbone.
Magnolia has an idea.
The collarbone.
You got that right. The collarbone it is. Good job. And we go back to Magnolia. Boy, you're running that score up there. Come on, Bladensburg. Don't let them get away from you. Go, Caleb.
Body systems for 25.
Body systems for 25 points. A multiple choice question. Teams, the bone at the top of your spinal column is called the atlas bone because it's holding up your skull. It's also known as C1. Does it mean it is the cervical bone, the cranial bone, or the cerebral bone? All right, Caleb.
Cerebral bone.
Not cerebral. Cerebral, cranial, or cervical bone. The C1, Jessica.
Cervical?
Cervical, yeah, the first of the cervical vertebrae. Good. Red.
Dateline science for 10.
Dateline for 10 points. All right, teams. You know, there's a company called Finless Foods that is making tuna in the lab. It's growing tuna cells in a petri dish, and they are using the cells from the tuna that have the same name as the acronym Science, Technology, Engineering, and Math. Caleb.
STEM.
They're using stem cells. That's it. Good. Go green. Go green.
Let's get physical for 25.
Physical for 25 points. Big one in that category, teams. It was back in 1801 that one of these minor planets was found orbiting between Mars and Jupiter. Between Mars and Jupiter, they called these minor planets. What were they, Caleb?
Dwarf.
Dwarfs, not dwarfs, no. Bladensburg. These heavenly bodies orbit between Mars and Jupiter. They used to call them minor planets, Jessica.
Asteroids?
You got that right, asteroid. Good answer. Go. Go ahead.
Science potpourri for 25.
Potpourri for 25 points score. 150, 230. You need all the points you can get. Science potpourri for 25. Teams, that terrible fire that devastated Paradise, California recently. It looked like at one point the fire was spinning in a vortex, making it look like what kind? Jessica.
A volcano?
Not a volcano.
No.
It looked like Magnolia, one of these weather events that can be categorized in F1 through an F5.
Tornado.
Tornado is a fire tornado. Oh, Jessica, she's beating herself up because she didn't want to say what she said. Go green.
Science potpourri for 15.
Potpourri for 15 points. Look at the monitor in the studio, please. If you saw the movie Fantastic Beasts, this is the Niffler. A Niffler looks like what real-life marsupial that lives in Australia. Magnolia.
Opossums.
Not an opossum, good try. That is a marsupial, but not in Australia. This Niffler looks like what marsupial that lives in Australia?
A platypus?
A platypus, yes indeed, Jessica, go.
Body systems for 10.
Body systems for 10 points. Teams, if you saw how the Grinch stole Christmas, you know that the Grinch went through an episode of cardiac hypertrophy when this organ grew 2 times its size. Magnolia?
Heart.
His heart, yeah. Good, go.
Dateline science for 15.
Dateline for 15 points. Teams, the international standard for this metric weight that is equal to 2.2 pounds has just been changed. What metric equivalent is there of 2.2 pounds?
I think it's
Magnolia.
Kilogram?
You got that right. It equals 1 kilogram. All right, we have the 5 pointers left. Which one?
Green things for 10.
Green things for 10 points. Yes, indeed. You know, there are scientists, they're called gene engineers, and they are tinkering with the genes in plants. They're trying to make a corn plant that is resistant to heat, and they're also trying to come up with a wheat plant that doesn't have as much of this protein in it that causes, yes, Magnolia.
Gluten?
Yeah, they're trying to reduce the amount of gluten. Some gluten is always going to be there, but they're trying to have a low gluten wheat plant. Thank you, Jerry, for your help on that one, too. Go, Caleb.
Green things for 5.
Green things for 5 points. Teams, you know, fruit is covered with different kinds of coverings. There's rind, there's skin, and then like the Grinch, he's like a bad banana with a greasy black what, Jessica?
Peel.
Peel, that's it. Yes, go.
Body systems for 5.
Body systems for 5 points. Teams, if you're a pirate, you put a flag on your ship. It has a crossbones, and what bone is at the top? Caleb?
The skull.
The skull and the crossbones. Yeah, go.
Zoo parade for 5.
Zoo parade for 5 points. Teams, it would seem that life is one big joke to these scavenging mammals who are known for their laugh. Magnolia.
Hyenas.
A hyena, yeah, like in The Lion King. Shenzi. Go.
Let's get physical for 5.
Let's get physical for 5 points. Teams, when Colt McCoy had to substitute for Alex Smith, he said, boy, I haven't thrown a football in a while. I've got to shake off some of my iron oxide, better known as what substance, Magnolia?
Rust.
Rust, yeah, I'm kind of rusty. Got to move around a little bit. Go.
Science potpourri for 5.
Potpourri for 5 points. Teams, I hope you get gold, pure gold, as a gift someday, because if you do, the description of pure gold is the same line that means 2 dozen of these orange vegetables. 2 dozen of these
Carrots.
orange vegetables.
Carrots.
You have to give me more. You're missing part of what I'm asking for.
Orange carrot.
Pure gold is known by what measurement that is equivalent to 2 dozen of these orange vegetables? What do you got, Bladensburg? What's 2 dozen equal? 24. 24 karat gold. All right, last question of the game, Dateline science for 5 points. You know, when some animals are threatened by predators, they do weird things. The hog-nosed snake plays dead. And this barnyard animal that we know eats cans will faint. Jessica.
The goat?
The goat, fainting goats, that's it. We've used up the board. It looks like Magnolia is headed possibly to the semifinals. We'll be right back. Don't go away. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this game at home as much as we did here in the studio. Fantastic performances from 6 young people who had never played this game before. Our final tally today is Magnolia 305, Bladensburg 115. Magnolia, congratulations to the team in yellow. Let's give them a hand. Jerry and Caleb and Owie. And they have a shadow team +1 back there. There's Josephine and Halima and Tamar and Katrina and the one and only Mr. Robert Allen, their coach. Wonderful job. And let's have a round of applause for Bladensburg. What a team! Layla and Jessica and Kalabi and Caleb, excuse me, and standing back there in the wings, Naomi and Chelsea, and their principal and their vice principal are here today, Dr. Williams and Miss Battle. Thank you for sending us a wonderful team. And Mrs. Holmes, you made all this possible. Thank you for all the work that you did this year. Let's give Mrs. Holmes a nice round of applause. And we hope to see you next time on another edition of Science Bowl. I'm Dave Zarin. Until then, bye-bye.